Guys, how's it going? So today I felt really called to do card readings for you guys for this retrograde for your relationships because this retrograde is majorly about relationships and getting aligned in a really deep way. We're going to be recognizing our feelings and, those deeper kind of underlying things that maybe we didn't really recognize within ourselves or in the actual connection. And also at the same time, we're going to be focused on the bigger picture of what we truly want, and prioritizing that because we want to create more love, more beauty, more safety, more security in our relationships. We want those relationships that are really just in depth, that we can be very, vulnerable with and radically honest. And that's going to be a major theme of this retrograde is being radically honest, with the other person, because with that, we can release a lot of the old karmic cycles and really just lead from the purity of our hearts. And when we do that, we're allowing ourselves to align with higher relationships and aligning with just the bigger cycles of life in general. We're aligning with cosmic truth. And we're leaving the old, dense karmic cycles of our relationships with the bad programs and everything in the past. So I love how Mars, aka the masculine, is going to be going through Scorpio and Ophiuchus. So going deep, going intense with, what they truly want and being really truthful for themselves. And then going through a rebirth to get to those higher dimensional levels. And then the feminine always helps the masculine do this by pointing out the things that need to be pointed out that, usually they're not always aware of. And then I love how, there's going to be this nice trine between Jupiter, Saturn, and Neptune, and then all the planets, the Sun, Mercury, and Venus, the feminine, making a nice trine to go towards the future. We're unwinding when it comes to the heavier, dense programs and karmic cycles and ways of being, so we can open up to just new ideas, new ways of communicating, new ways of balancing out our relationships. And yeah, it's kind of like our savior, with all this depth and intensity. At the same time, we can majorly elevate. I'm going to be majorly focusing on, the card reading aspect of this, but I will bring up the chart just so you can see how you can take advantage of this with the air trine and everything too. And if you want to see my last video, that was more so focused on Libra and the Scorpio energy in your chart. So that would also be really helpful. So Aries, what's going to be very helpful for you with this air trine is Saturn and Neptune in your 12th house. You're connecting to your higher self, but at the same time, you're majorly unwinding fears and ways of sabotaging yourself from creating your best life, that highest manifestation, your highest dream. It's very powerful to really get in touch with your higher self and pay attention to your dreams. And so you can align with whatever reality that you want to start manifesting. With Jupiter in the third house, you can shift to new perspectives, new mindsets, new ways of communicating, and be very expansive with that. That is, that could be in alignment with what you're changing with your beliefs and everything. And then, this back and forth with, the seventh house, there could be miscommunications, but any miscommunication is a better way to, communicate and look towards the future with what you really want to manifest. And, just there's a lot of peace and harmony in your relationships right now. So this is a powerful, just realignment in your connection. And it's time to have more fun, excitement, maybe travel. All the good things. So let's get to the cards. Oops. All right, Aries. So let's see what archetypes you and your person gets. You got the Queen energy. When light radiates regal feminine energy, uses her benevolent authority to protect others, becomes arrogant when authority is challenged, controlling and demanding. So you're stepping into that higher Queen energy. And your person is child wounded and then advocate. So it looks like they're stepping into that advocate energy, like for you, for this relationship. But at the same time, they're facing a lot of their deeper childhood wounds. And that can definitely be coming up in this, retrograde. But it looks like they're very supportive towards you and wanting to, treat you more like the queen. At the same time, there's a lack of communication on your side with the magician reversed. Something might not be clear. Maybe there's a part of your manifestations that you're not completely voicing out, or you're not exactly clear of yourself, which you prioritizing that versus prioritizing the relationship will get that aligned, like in your relationship. Actually, there's so many like relationship problems that we could actually like avoid by realizing our own like innate power to get in alignment with how we actually want things to go, and and focusing on that. I think it's always so powerful with manifestation to be like, so say you're having an issue, you just start to visualize like how you can get over this issue, how you want the end result to be, and really like, visualizing it, affirming it, and just focusing more on that. And then when you come together in your connection, it's like it just goes in that direction. The conversations are easier to have, and it's just easier in general. So it looks like your person is going through a power struggle. And with this power struggle also, there has been needing to be more communication. So I think they've been holding back with their communication, and it might be because of these childhood wounds in general. And, that's what's been creating the power struggle in this connection. And on your side, it can be more, give and take. Have you been a little bit dominant in your connection, Aries? Because it looks like, there might be just a little, might be a little bit more dominant. You have a tendency to be a little dominant sometimes. And instead of being dominant, I think there is a way you can kind of get more in tune with your feminine energy and be more receptive. So I watched a reel about this yesterday, actually. Like when our masculine is super active, we have our image and we're constantly projecting it out, projecting it out, projecting it out. But when we get into our feminine, when we can allow ourselves to flow with life a little bit more, which is equally as powerful, we kind of sit back, we absorb things, we kind of take things in, we allow ourselves to be receptive. So I think there can be a major balance with that can actually align you with your full manifestation that you want to align with, and it will be done in an easier way in love, in life, in this connection. 6 of Wands though. So there is a lot of happiness in between you guys. There's a lot of happiness coming in this connection. This connection makes both of you very, very happy. One more card in between you guys. Come on. Maybe another card doesn't want to come out. Okay. Let's move on. So let's pull two of these cards for you. Pride and longing. So yeah, there is a deeper longing that you're recognizing with yourself and your relationships. And it's all about actually letting your ego down a little bit. There is a way you can maybe just speak from your heart, speak from your soul to, allow things to be a little bit clearer. Because on their side, they're a little bit confused. They just feel like this is going to be a power struggle because this is just how it is in relationships. And they think that's the case because of, past relationships from the deep past, from where they learned relationships from, when they were a child and everything. At the same time, they're very obsessed with you in this connection. They, they are feeling drawn back to it over and over and over again. But yeah, there is some sort of like confusion on their end. And, with the magician reversed on your side, I think there is a way to have this kind of conversation to kind of get to the bottom of things, to really kind of get what both of you want. Because within the Six of Wands kind of represents ego sometimes. This came out in between you. And that's, the ego, we don't let somebody in. The ego goes up. We start mentally doing gymnastics with everything. And we start kind of like just being in our minds too much versus just speaking from the purity of our heart and, not playing the ego game. Because the ego game from both of you actually is because of, just abandonment wounds from the past, from being left or walked out. Left in the cold in relationships at some point. Let me see what they're confused about, though. A solid new beginning with a soul connection. So they feel this strong soul connection. That's why they keep on, being obsessed and, pulled back and everything to you. But at the same time, they don't know how to start a fresh start, which is a more solid way to move forward in this relationship that is more grounded, more practical, more just like solid, instead of maybe being a little too all over the place, maybe without letting things get a little too heated. So what is the outcome? What is the outcome of this? Yep. So that's good. I love that. So the Four of Wands and the Two of Cups. So there is going to be a really solid foundation being built from this. And it's just that recognition that you guys really are deep, soulmates. You guys this is kind of meant to be. This is kind of fated. And Four of Wands, this is a high level soulmate connection. It could be like twin flamey. So it's never comfortable. You have to get to the deeper topics and everything and actually talk about things. And that is the only way. And yeah, it's just that recognition. And sometimes when you have that deep conversation and things break down for things to be built in a more solid way, you just both, you realize how much you actually care. So looks like that's what's happening. Okay, let me pull a love card. And then I'll pull a burning heart love oracle, because in case there is separation right now. Physical touch. A tender touch can mean so much. And spiritual connection. A relationship has a connection that goes beyond this lifetime. Yep, you guys are recognizing this deep and intense soul connection. Physical touch could be a good way to break the ice, in this connection too. And you are always on my mind, and they'll never compare to you. And they'll never compare to you. Let me pull one more card for advice for you. Actually, this might be too much, but let's see if one comes out. I mean, I'm getting that. Just stay, hold your vision true. Stay in your queen energy, but also at the same time, Page of Cups, reach out with your heart, with your emotions from that softer, vulnerable place. Allow the emotions to kind of come out during this time, because a lot will be done with that. Think more so from your heart and from your soul and less from the mind. And yeah, that was a beautiful, beautiful reading for you, Aries. I'm very excited for you. All right. If you would like a reading, check out my link in bio. All right, Taurus. So this nice air trine helping you out, you can look at the bigger picture, your hopes and your dreams and your wishes, and dream really, really big and let all the false programming fall away when it comes to, societal limits or whatever. You're connecting to your soul's limits, which is no limits. So, go within, visualize what you want to manifest, love, life, connection, all of that. With Jupiter in the second house, you're getting a boost to your value and your worth. So recognizing your worth, recognizing your value, and up leveling that can only make your relationships better. And also recognizing what you value also. So you can prioritize what you value so you can, manifest it in a lot easier way. And with everything in your sixth and seventh house, there can be a nice rebalancing in your connections, in your divine counterpart. There's just so much energy here. So there's like a lot of passion, like moving forward and just excitement with it. But also at the same time, it's time to, like allow transformation for your partner, allow them to kind of maybe go deep within themselves, then come out and then kind of rebirth on their own. And then with you focusing on them too, the sixth house, like there's a couple things that I ran into recently where the sixth house is definitely also tied to relationships. So I'm kind of like just combining it. And I'll talk about that later. But yeah, communication with your significant other. There's a spotlight on everything, so you can really go through a rebalancing. You can evolve out of past karmic cycles and kind of elevate in your relationship. And yeah, I think I would say it's definitely just focus on that bigger picture and what you really truly want to manifest, and then go full steam ahead with conversations and balancing things out and not being afraid to go deep and all of that. Okay, so let's get into the cards. Okay, let's start out with the archetype cards. Let's see what you got. Child magical. I love that. You're really tuning into your own magic, to your own inner child, to your creativity. A lot of the times when we're kids, we can kind of actually get like a knowing of like who we're really supposed to end up with, what we are going to experience out of love and everything. So, there could be definitely a remembrance with all of that. And you're just seeing the beauty in things and in life and, believing that anything is possible, really believe that anything is possible in love and life and your relationships. So you can be very motivated to go in that direction. It didn't fully fall out. That's why I didn't want to pull that out. The King of Pentacles reversed on your side, and the Gambler came out on their side. So light is willingness to follow intuition even when others doubt you. Shadow is relying on luck rather than hard work. It seems like they could maybe be a little all over the place, but maybe they are actually tuning into that higher dimensional aspect of themselves in their deeper soulful selves. Let's see what else comes out. And then child shadow is pessimism, depression, disbelief in miracles, believing that energy and action are not perfect. Yep, you're tuning into the magic again. So I think there might be a way that you thought the masculine had to be, previously in the past, like both masculine and feminine energy has been majorly distorted. So I think there's aspects of that you're releasing. And on their side, Page of Swords. So there's like new ideas, new communication. Maybe they want to talk to you in some way. Maybe they are acting a little immature. The Sun reversed in Knight of Cups on your end. So there is some sort of unhappiness, And I think you need to talk about this unhappiness, because there is a way that you're actually not fully aligning with your greatest joy, your greatest happiness, and your greatest excitement. And with the Knight of Cups that came out too, there's a need to really have conversations from the heart, from that deeper emotional place, to really let out your emotions. And really like just be a little vulnerable, a little soft. It seems like maybe they just don't see where you're fully coming from. One more card for them. Oh, two came out. No, too many. These are too many. But Eight of Wands came out on their side. So there's fast communication or insights or inspirations coming in, or, they're wanting to move fast in a certain direction. And I think it might be in this relationship. Yep. Oh, I love that. So, okay, I love that. So the 10 of Pentacles came out in between you guys. This is so, so lucky. So what you're being asked to do is kind of release expectations, old world expectations that were, maybe all about the physical, that might be heavy and dense, that you might be blocking them out in some way, because you want them to show up as the King of Pentacles, just solid, secure, reliable, or whatever. But there could just be, heavy ways of being for the masculine that isn't really serving them anymore. So they're kind of going through a rebirth so they can really release that and let that go. Instead, it's time for you to really focus on your happiness, yourself, actually bring it back to you and your magical world and what you want to manifest, and focusing on that so you can magnetize in that situation. And it really does work like that. The more you just focus on yourself and your happiness and what your soul wants and your creativity and your abundance and all the things that whatever makes you happy, focusing on that. And then also imagining and dreaming how you want things to go is the way to go in this relationship, because the 10 of Pentacles wants to happen. That is your dreams come true. That is like King of Pentacles energy, but it's not going to happen in the way that you are expecting it to happen. So you don't want to put too many limits on the ways that you're expecting things to happen, because this is safety, this is security, this is a long-term relationship, this is happiness, this is kids, this is whatever you really, really want. That's really solid, stable, secure for your big picture. So you getting in alignment with your happiness you're going to be able to share that with your significant other in a way more powerful way with what you're manifesting in this connection. And yeah, it seems like they're kind of a little bit more immature energy. They are a little bit more risky. They are feeling a lot of passion though, and they're wanting to move fast in a certain direction. And I think it does start with communication in this connection. But they're receiving some sort of clarity. And when they receive that clarity, they're going to be moving fast. They're going to be recognizing more so what they value, the Hierophant. So they're going to be moving towards connection. They're committing to what they truly value and love. And yeah, this just looks like a serious relationship that, more commitment, whether you are like moving in or getting married or like, becoming serious, whatever stage that you're at. It looks like fast, commitment is coming in this connection. So I really love that. I mean, this is a beautiful relationship reading. So let's pull some more cards. Memories, reminiscing, dwelling, bittersweet. On their side, they're really thinking about the past and this connection. You're thinking about family, fertility, parenthood, pregnancy. So that's definitely in the cards. If you want to be manifesting a family, that is coming up. Whatever family looks like to you, if you want to get pregnant, this could be definitely the time that it's going to be happening. Or you're getting into alignment with that timeline. And yeah, it's time for you to focus on nourishing yourself and your own self-growth, self-focus, soul finding. That's how this is going to happen. So even if you are taking a break from your person, or, you know, there isn't like that full clarity yet, you know, they're really thinking of you, and they're going to come in fast once they get that clarity. And let's see, in between you guys. Well, my cards are flying all over the place. So you know what? When cards fall on the ground, it's like bringing the lower energies, like there's some sort of transmutation happening with the lower energies. And I think this is where maybe both of you guys were hoping for something, but you would maybe stop yourself because of programming, or just, just focusing on the past too much with how relationships would go versus seeing how it can actually go. So hoping is being transmuted. So in between you, both of you in the feminine, this is the most important thing for the feminine energy, because you are the energetic guide for your relationships, is having that faith, having that vision, manifesting what you want out of this connection instead of focusing too much on what could go wrong. So what is the outcome of this relationship? What is the outcome with this? Page of Wands, Ace of Wands. So it's kind of looks like a lot of this is going to be a fiery, exciting new beginning. You know, this is bringing a new beginning in your relationship that is solid, stable, secure, but also at the same time, it's like the new wave being solid and secure and stable with a lot more passion, a lot more fire, a lot more excitement. And yeah, passionate communication. And I think like if there's, you guys reconnect in a fiery, passionate way, that can really break the ice. So let me pull out a love card for you. So even if it's passionate and mature communication, I think there can be like some sort of breakthrough anyway. For some reason, it seems immature, but I think they're just getting in touch with their light-hearted energy again, which is good, because that's how we should actually be running. We shouldn't be so serious in love and life and relationships. The more that we can be leading from our joy, excitement, and passion, the more we're connecting to our higher selves. Embrace your emotions, allow your feelings to surface and be accepted. So definitely let the emotions flow, because that's kind of, going to bring that transmutation to that miracle timeline. See, there's a lot of dark all around her, but if you're focusing on that magic, you allow the dense like emotions to transmute. Then you can focus on the lightness and, how much you guys deeply care about each other. And if you guys are in separation, I have been working on myself. They are working on themselves. One more. I was selfish and stuck in my ego. So yeah, maybe a little bit of an ego breakdown on their end too, but that's just so you guys can come together in a really strong way, headed towards a solid foundation with love, family, what's truly nourishing to you. Focus on you and what you want, and then they'll really, really come in a lot faster even. All right, Taurus, if you would like a reading, check out my link in bio. Hi, Gemini. Okay, so we're really, with this nice air trine helping you out, this is going to be really powerful to focus on your long-term goals, your legacy. What do you want out of life? What is that long-term vision? And dream really big, really release any limits. You're really connecting with your soul and what your soul wants, and your soul is unlimited. So any like limiting programs when it comes to society or whatever, saying you can only have this, or can only have that, pish posh, not real. So, and Jupiter's in your sign, you are very, 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 very extremely lucky. So as long as you have that vision and you're feeling expansive and you're prioritizing yourself, you will connect with the right people. You will magnetize in that relationship. You will find that balance. You will find that deeper love and that connection, because you're really going to be motivated towards love and connection. And you're finding deeper love too, deeper harmony, love, balance, more fun, more passion in your connection. And yeah, it's time to just elevate, going deep with your emotions in your relationship, so you can really transmute karma and get into those lighter cycles. And karma isn't like, we've been taught a little wrong without karma, because karma isn't really like something that we're stuck in. It's really just showing you how you can self-actualize in a stronger way and release any distortions when it comes to thoughts, behaviors, actions, all of that. So the more you realize the love that you really truly want and prioritize that and become aware of how you want your relationships to be and everything, it looks like there can be just a major breakthrough for love that can truly, truly deepen in your connection. Just focus on what you want long term and imagine it, visualize it, hold that vision within you, get in touch with it every day, and it looks like it can easily fall into place. So for the archetype cards, you got the Lover. You are definitely feeling that love energy, light attributes, great passion and devotion, unbridled appreciation of someone or something. Shadow, obsessive passion that harms others, self-destructive devotion. Yeah, focus on you and be obsessed with yourself and your vision and what you truly want. But yeah, a deep love connection is definitely coming in with the Six of Cups that is on your side, or they are, whoever you're thinking about, they are a deeper soulmate connection. Six of Cups is like you've known each other before in past lifetimes. There's some sort of nostalgia, some sort of familiarity in this connection. And it looks like your significant other is kind of going through a little bit more difficult time. So child nature came out reversed. So they're kind of getting in touch with their inner child and who they were kind of originally when they first came here before, life, and before life told us to be a certain way and everything. So child nature shadow is tendency to hurt animals, people, and the environment. So I think there is something with where they hold back in relationships because they're afraid that they're going to get hurt. So they're kind of facing the past in a deeper way with the Six of Swords reversed, where they're kind of facing past pains, past hurts, past all of that tumultuous things that happened in relationships in the past, and that's what's kind of stalling them from moving on to a new horizon. At the same time, your love is really awakening them in some ways, so they're also nervous of it because it's like they've been holding back from love, but here you come. There's this strong soulmate connection and you're just showing them love and everything. And you can have a tendency to be obsessed in this connection and everything. But that's what these connections tell you is like, no matter what, just bring that attention back to you. Because you got to have that self-love first, you got to take care of yourself and prioritize your happiness. And then this connection will come in naturally anyway, because you have to be able to love yourself very deeply to have this kind of deep love be able to manifest in a connection. So, when somebody acts out in a wound or anything or something, you don't need to take it personally. You just know the love is there. You know that this is a really deep, soulfully loving connection. And as long as you show the love, but also you're not letting them cross your boundaries or anything, then that's when magic can truly happen in this relationship. Because I think you have a tendency to self-abandon sometimes. So this is definitely showing you like you're not self-abandoning this time. And that's actually how this relationship can come in a deeper way, because they actually do look at you as the Empress, you know, which is the divine feminine, loving, nurturing, caring. They're moving very slowly though. So it's kind of like maybe you guys were friends at some point with the Three of Pentacles on their side. And they're just moving very slowly, practically, steadily, because they don't want to get hurt. And they really, really think highly of you at the same time. So that's also why they're not really rushing this. You know, they don't want to fuck it up or let their own wounds be projected onto this connection. So what's happening in between you? Nine of Swords, lots of anxiety, miscommunication, beliefs that are just, you know, mental beliefs that are self-sabotaging. You know, there is a lot of time where we let intrusive thoughts like enter our brain that aren't even actually ours, but that could definitely affect this connection. Yeah. Oh my gosh. So just major self-sabotage. Like, so in between you guys, it's just like a lot of anxiety. So when a lot of swords come out, it's just like a lot of mental self-sabotage. You're not really connecting to your higher self. You're connecting with the monkey mind and everything. And that's kind of what's sabotaging both of you guys in this connection. I think you might feel the energy and you might be very empathic towards it. So it makes you feel like, I don't know, that might actually make you overgive too, because the Queen of Cups came out reversed on your side. So there is a need to care for yourself first and have that love, care, and compassion. Really nurture your own emotional well-being. Don't abandon yourself in this connection and slow it down. Actually, like the Eight of Wands came out reversed. So there's a lot of passion, a lot of excitement, a lot of fire, but you would you would be served well to just like slow down in this connection. Because I think it could just move too fast and then it would be like a failure to launch. And, you know, these swords aren't going to be here forever. You know, this is just like kind of rethinking things through to get to stop listening to the monkey mind so you guys can start listening to your higher selves so things can move forward when they're supposed to move forward and without all the fears and everything. So yeah, you're releasing negative mindsets too. Curse came out on your side. I don't think you have a curse or anything. Like, I think if you're vibrating high enough, that shit doesn't affect you anyway. And your belief in that stuff is what creates that. So don't believe you're cursed in love or anything. But you're releasing some sort of negative mindset. And you releasing that negative mindset will be very helpful. And on their side, let's see. No, one more. Longing, aching, craving, wanting. So you're feeling that pull anyway, you know, of them thinking about you a lot, them wanting you. Yeah, but I think both of you might have some escaping tendencies. So this came out in between you guys, escaping, avoiding, blocking, pushing away. Even though this is a strong connection, you guys both want it. Divine masculine is going through a rebirth. So let the rebirth happen and let the masculine really pursue you. The sun came in on your side. So focusing on your happiness and what you love, what you value, how you shine, how you radiate, not dimming your light for anyone, will improve the situation. Because yeah, there's just cautiousness because of pain and just fears. So that's what the mental anxiety is just releasing all the pains, all of the fears. So this can be stronger. So what is the outcome? What is the outcome for Gemini? Slow and steady growth. Okay, so where things, and maybe you got to turn them down a little bit, you know, maybe whoever, you got to turn the masculine down and make him move at your pace, you know, prioritize yourself, your emotional well-being, your safety, your security. Know that this connection will always be here because it's soul connection. And, you know, not being afraid to, you know, if it's just like a "what are you doing" text message, like don't be afraid to just not take that seriously, because the way in this connection is that slow and steady growth, you know. Seven of Pentacles, really prioritizing how you want things to go, how you want to feel in the connection, and letting things move very slowly. And advice for you: slow. Nine of Pentacles. Let them come forward with a solid message, because yeah, then that's when a whole new world can begin. The World card came out, so that's luck, abundance, opportunity, strong connection, a new cycle in love, evolving into higher cycles in love. And yeah, you focusing on your vision and your happiness and what you truly want, and not taking crumbs or anything, will definitely improve, or will push this to the next cycle. Okay, so let me pull a Whispers of Love card for you. Rest and relaxation is essential. We all have a fundamental need to take a break. So yeah, whenever you need to take a break, whenever that just monkey mind is going on with this connection, get into your dreams. Like, she's dreaming, she's just, you know, in her feminine mode, like really receiving, you know, intuition and insights from her higher self, but also at the same time connecting with her imagination and the magic that can be really created. You doing that will be very, very beneficial. And then messages from them to you. Let's see. I fantasize about you. I've been working on myself and am not the same as I was before. And I need to work on myself. I'm trying to clear my head. So yeah, they're exercising their demons out of the brain. There might be archons just like on full attack right now or whatever. So don't take it personally. Just focus on you and, you know, what you want out of this connection, slowing things down a bit. And yeah, oops. Thank you so much, Gemini. If you would like a reading, check out my link in bio. Okay, Cancer, where this trine is going to be helpful for you is you focusing on the ninth house, you focusing on your beliefs, making sure you have very strong, powerful beliefs about love, because whatever you believe in is what you're creating in your reality, because you're majorly breaking through the 12th house stuff, which is ways of self-sabotaging, ways of limiting yourself, ways of, yeah, just not really connecting to your highest self and your soul and that highest potential possible. So you could definitely have a very strong connection to your higher self and your imagination, and you could be manifesting really powerfully what you are drawing into your life and everything. And then with the 4th house and 5th house, like, you're passionate about love. It's time to be bold, expressive, go after the loves, tell them what you want and everything, and be charismatic. At the same time, let yourself kind of go through this evolution in love in the way that you pursue love, with Mars going through a focus. And then finding more just peace and harmony in your home life. So if you live with your significant other, there can be just a lot more balance, a lot more beauty, a lot more, you know, just reconnecting in a deeper way, you know, more so from your core versus in any kind of shallow ways. And yeah, so let's get into the cards. So the Alchemist came out reversed on your side. So misuse of power, shadow, misuse of power and knowledge that comes through spiritual practice, when light, transformation based on motive and goals and wisdom. So yeah, you're going to find your power with focusing on the vision and what you do want, and not letting yourself get into the lower nature of thinking this is the way life is, this is how it has to be. So, that's the only reason we get into our lower nature ever, is because we don't realize that we are truly powerful creators of our reality. And we don't ever, ever, ever need to make choices out of fear or doubt or insecurity, or any of those lower things. So realize your power to really transmute, um, you know, eighth house stuff is just like shame, guilt, fears, you know, any of that. You're definitely transmuting into higher aspects of love, because the death came out too on your side. So you're just going through a nice death and rebirth when it comes to love and, this relationship. And Liberator came out on their side. So freeing yourself and others from outdated beliefs, releasing negative thought patterns. And Shadow, imposing your own tyranny over others you claim to liberate, ignoring legitimate constraints. So it seems like they're liberating themselves too from outdated beliefs that didn't really serve them in love, and aligning with love that is more free. Because at the end of the day, love, like true soul love, needs to be free. And, the more that you can kind of allow this, release any outdated beliefs that don't allow freedom, the more you guys can come back together in a stronger way. And Five of Pentacles reverse. So yeah, they're releasing the ways that they thought love had to be a power struggle, or, maybe it was too materially based. Like maybe they thought like all girls only want money or something like that, or like that they have to earn more or something like that. And relying on that too much versus just being, a really good partner. King of Wands came out on your end. So masculine is on your side, pursuing you in the world. So yeah, death and rebirth of your own masculine energy looks like it's happening. And the King of Wands is really good at focusing on their own unique vision. So, your love story might look different than anybody else's, but like everybody's love story actually looks different than anybody else's. It's only like societal things that say like it has to look this way and whatever. So the more that you can have this death and rebirth and allow your love life to look in a way that makes you passionate, that makes you excited and everything, is the way that this can come back together stronger. Because the moon came out on their side. So they're facing their deep, deep emotions and their fears and maybe mother wounds, just because the Queen of Swords came out reversed, like right underneath it. So cold feminine, shield feminine, blocked off feminine energy that just ices somebody out and just plays the silent game or something. But that's actually like a control tactic and everything. So they're liberating themselves from fears in relationships. And yeah, it really just starts with this rebirth. But in between you, there's such great potential because the Star card came out. So you guys are connected. You guys know there's this vision of you being together and things being magical and going to this higher timeline and like living out the dream and being like, a partner, not partner in crime, power couple. Like, anyway, I think, both's good, but being a power couple. And yeah, it's just, letting this breakthrough happen on their side and letting yourself become the alchemist of your life. And you taking charge where you need to take charge in your life. It's also going to be very liberating to you because you're lining up with a higher cycle, which, the world card, it's like luck, abundance, a whole new cycle with love, life, everything magical and amazing. Let's get a little bit more insight between your energy. Elusive came out reversed. So dishonesty, deception, trickery, you being fully honest with what you're feeling and what you really want, and not being afraid to let that out. Shallow, hollow, empty, boredom. He's finding deeper. I mean, your significant other is finding deeper meaning, so they're going underneath the surface. They don't, they're going past the material for sure. And yeah, in between you, yeah, this is a nourishing connection. So, even though you guys are both hurt in love, because of the past, because of whatever, this connection is helping you both grow, and it is very nourishing, and it is making you both focus on yourselves with your own self growth, your own self focus, your own soul finding. But at the same time, there's like a bigger vision when you guys do come together. So, what is the outcome? And that's what they're drawn towards. They want this bigger vision because they're tired of feeling, so shallow, so empty, so focused on the mundane and what's boring. And yeah, it looks like you're kind of like hermit mode, in your alchemy mode, and getting ready to come out when you're ready. So what's the outcome? High Priestess, Ten of Cups. So yeah, it's going to come. The star card is going to come, when you're focusing on your own self growth and your own self nourishment, but also that divine feminine energy. You are the energetic ruler of this connection, whatever, whoever's the feminine dominant. The more that you focus on your self love, your happiness, the Ten of Cups that came out, what you want out of life at that emotional level, with your soul connections, with family, with community, with work, with love, with everything, and manifesting it in, getting in touch with your higher self and getting in touch with that higher aspect of you. So this can actually come in a lot easier. You are limitless. You can do anything you choose. Simple acts of kindness. Kindness energizes you and brings happiness to those around you. So you just focusing on, simple acts of kindness can kind of go a lot and kind of go really far when you guys are both dealing with heavy energy on both of your sides. But this heavy, dense, like transmutive time is bringing you to this like elevated, like way of being in love that is free, that is exciting, that is brand new, that is magical, that is like making you recognize how both of you are limitless souls. And you never had to let those constraints hold you back. And you're choosing that miracle, beautiful fairy tale timeline. I don't like saying fairy tale because Disney just like, kind of messed up, put so many distortions with love. Like, we're just getting through the current distortion right now. But like the more that you elevate, the easier it is. And there's swans in here too. So like divine counterparts, this is a really strong connection. And you guys are recognizing both that you're very limitless when you get together, strong masculine, a strong feminine energy, and you are unlimiting yourself to the life and love that you guys are choosing. And I love that. Okay, so messages from them. I sabotaged our connection because it was too intense, and I'm holding onto the memories of us. So yeah, this is a deep, strong soul connection, very meaningful, very, very intense. And it's all about kind of getting past those like blocks and defenses and going through the internal rebirth separate to come back together a lot stronger. And it looks like when you guys come back together, it's going to be super, super strong and nourishing. So if things get intense during this retrograde, just know like things are going to come in really, really, really strong, by the end. just break through your guys' own bullshit on each side. Okay. All right, Cancer, if you would like a reading, check out my link in bio. Hi, Leo. So the best way that you can take care of this nice trine going on is the eighth house. You're going through your own inner alchemy, own inner transformation and everything, facing all the deep, deep fears of, being in relationships and facing stuff from the past and projections and whatever. The eighth house is the heavy, dense, thick house where you deal with the heaviest stuff so you can release your own bullshit and be free to partner with people at a higher level to attract in higher level connections to when you go through the eighth house stuff, you become in your own shadows, you become a magnet and you become really connected to your shadow and who you are at the deepest level. And Jupiter in the 11th house, it's time to really dream big, like have massive hopes and dreams for the future and really, get aligned with your vision with that. Dream big, not small, and get internally aligned with your beliefs about what you can possibly manifest. Because you're getting aligned in that bigger, limitless, soulful way versus this, smaller human version of you or whatever. And with the trines to, Venus and Mercury in the third house, communication is going to be really powerful. It can be very balanced, very fair, even difficult things to talk about. It's going to be received a lot better. At the same time, Mars in the fourth house, you're getting in tune with your core. You're going through a kind of a core transformation right now with your masculine energy, with the ways that you kind of pursue relationships and just being really deeply true to yourself at a whole nother level. So allow yourself to kind of go through a rebirth with the ways that you're really feeling internally. But yeah, great communication, great ways of meeting somebody. If you're single, this looks like you can meet a very strong soulmate connection, like going out and about, like out in the community, taking a class, traveling, whatever you feel drawn towards at that deeper soul level is the way to go. So let's get into the cards. So scribe came out reversed on your side. So shadow scribe is altering facts or plagiarizing others' work. So sometimes when we get stuck on the past and we get stuck on ourselves, like wallowing, first of all, we don't remember the past clearly always. And everyone's version of the past is usually different, like every single person's perspective. So it's not great to just rely on the past too much. It looks like there's a way that you can rewrite the ways that you want relationships and love and life to go instead of dwelling too much in your shadows, because that won't serve you. There's only the present moment, and there's only learning from the past to kind of elevate the ways that you can be in your relationships and love and life. And, it's definitely time for you to prioritize yourself with the Queen of Cups that came out reversed. Face your emotions in the deepest way possible, and being very true and, just honest with yourself will really go far. But at the same time, not being afraid to put up boundaries with your own love, with your own safety, your own security, and prioritizing yourself and your self-love and your emotions first, because you have to have that self-love first so you can attract in that higher level connection. That's going to be a priority for you. And Liberator came out with your significant other. So they are freeing themselves from outdated beliefs and negative thought pattern. It looks like they're going through a belief like reset, and they're letting themselves be a little bit more expansive, and they're connecting to their higher mind and not their lower mind. So the Eight of Cups came out on their side too. So it looks like they're ready to leave, like where things were heavier, where things were, just they're expecting better things in love, in this relationship, just in life. And they're getting ready to leave the heaviness and the past in the past. And, even if there's an emotional connection to the things in the past, they're realizing it's not coming with them in this next chapter, because being free, being liberated, looking at what else can you create, what else can you possibly make now. I don't know how else to say it. That can be so much more radiant, so much more beautiful, and so much more, yeah, just amazing. It's like the Eight of Cups is like lightening your load of like all, you manifested so far, and there's a lot of, meaningful things. But, when you know what you want to leave behind, and you're connecting to yourself at that higher level, you start manifesting in things that are really, really deeply meaningful, that will last the rest of, their lives. So that's good. Ace of Wands came out on your side. You need to align with your passion. This can be a passionate new beginning that can happen. And it's going to happen from that place of more lightness, more excitement, kind of getting back into your inner child, and letting things be exciting again, letting things be a little bit more fun, a little bit more lighthearted. Like, we've gotten so serious in society, and that's what they want. They want things to be very serious. So we're not in touch with our higher selves, the higher aspect of ourselves. And yeah, King of Wands came out on your side. So you might be going through a rebirth with your masculine energy, with knowing how you want to take charge in life in this connection. And it's going to be with a vision that is uniquely for you. Don't compare to anybody else's love life, anybody else's story, because it's not serving you. Queen of Wands reverse came out on their side. So major like counterpart energy. Maybe you guys are projecting on each other in some way. It's not always great for the feminine energy to see their masculine as the King of Wands, because that's not the most reliable like king. That is the one that's like, a little bit of a trailblazer, a little bit more on doing his own thing, kind of prioritizing himself. And yeah, but it's not always bad, because the King of Wands still has a vision. It's just not a vision that has ever been created before. And Queen of Wands reversed can be a little bit more selfish. So seeing the feminine energy as maybe a little bit more selfish, maybe being like mean without seeing why they're being mean, just thinking she's being a bitch because she's being a bitch. But so there is some unhappiness that needs to be corrected in this situation. So what else is in between you guys? Oh, and the Three of Wands came out on their side. So it's like, yeah, there's passion, there's fun, excitement. This can move fast. This is very exciting. We like to do the same things. We like to hang out with the same people. But maybe that's where the friction is, like things moving fast, wanting things to move fast, but at the same time, it's like moving fast, and then like that friction happens and just something happens, and it's like, oh, so that's like frustrating. So in between you, and clarify this one more time. In between you, you're both realizing to prioritize yourselves first. That's the way to be in the healthiest connection moving forward into the future. It's like two powerful people with that self-love, that radiance, prioritizing what they want out of life, and just no one's dimming their light, and you come together in a really stronger way as a power couple. But there's a need to release the old way of seeing that. It looks like just like kind of a rebirth of the selves on both sides. What else about this one? Okay. So in between you, there's also the Ten of Pentacles potential. This is long-term happiness, fulfillment, being a power couple, building a legacy, building wealth, having a family, whatever that long-term, beautiful, like love life looks like to you, that will be very secure, that will be solid, that will really last a lifetime. But there's a need to not hang on too much to the past, into safety, into security, and not fully letting the other person in, because there's just going to be a rebirth of the selves on both sides, and what you truly want and what truly makes you happy, and what is that ultimate vision that you even want to manifest, because it came out sideways. So it's like it's kind of in view, but not fully even in view yet. And it's up to both of you to kind of slow down, actually, versus like being too fiery, passionate, and then like letting things kind of come together. So you would be very powerful focusing on manifesting the scribe. That's how you script things out, focusing on how you want things to go and your vision, and getting really, really clear with that. So it's easier to kind of manifest it in this connection and in your reality. And it becomes so much easier, like where you think like things would, be a little bit, have a little friction before, things are, clearing up. So there's a lot of chemistry in this connection. Chemistry came on your side, traction, spark, passion, like wanting to move really fast and everything. But at the same time, yeah, like, just hurt feelings, happened really fast, and just miscommunication or whatever can happen. On their side, exhaustion, depletion, drained along the journey. Again, there's something that they're liberating themselves from so they can feel lighter. And there's previous feminine energy that they're definitely releasing. The ways they used to view feminine energy, thinking that a relationship has to be draining at all, loyalty. So there is something that they've been loyal to that they are releasing because it hasn't actually been helping them. They were just trying to be very reliable, very solid, but it's not doing anything for them in the long run. And realizations. So in between you, what's happening? This connection is really catalyzing a lot of realizations on both sides. So it's like after this Mercury retrograde, there's going to be like a light bulb, a deeper understanding, an awakening, like a higher level of just recognizing each other and the importance of this connection. And yeah, the outcome is an Ace of Cups. So, this looks like a tumultuous Mercury retrograde for sure. Definitely focus on yourself whenever things get a little bit bumpy, slow things down. There is definitely a big releasing of the old. You focusing on your manifestations and, visualizing how you want things to go is going to be able to make it able to actualize a lot easier externally. And yeah, they're going to be coming in hot and fast anyway. And they're releasing previous loyalties that were keeping them exhausted and not fully invested in this connection, where there is going to be a whole new beginning of love, where there will be more prioritizing this connection and the happiness and releasing what's not serving you guys anymore in this connection. So you guys can focus on the long term and what needs to be built, I guess. I don't know. The Ten of Pentacles is all about that long-term building and everything. Okay, and the love cards that you got, love makes the difference. Love helps heal past hurts, provides a sense of security and self-worth. So the more that, whenever you have to put up that boundary and focus on your self-love and then just come back with love, realize how much more that just really creates love versus like letting the past hurts like dig at each other, the union of hearts, love connection that defies explanation. So know that this connection was meant to catalyze you both, into higher versions of yourself. And that's not always comfortable, but this is a strong connection that will be able to really break through a lot of bullshit on both sides, or slash karma, or slash old ways that we deceived ourselves out of love. Um, and it's like, yeah, look, they're like attached, they're going to come back together either way, like magnets, and, there's a love so deep here that like nothing can really break it. So messages from your person. Messages from your person. I know we have a soul connection. Your energy is intoxicating and pulling me in. Love it. I know it is. Like there's a call with this love, and it's really, really beautiful. And, it's like you guys are already like, like energetically, you guys are already connected and nothing can really pull you guys apart. But it's letting your human selves kind of evolve into that deeper understanding of this kind of depth of love and everything. So you guys can fully love, open up your hearts more versus, yeah, thinking that there's any separation or that there ever was any separation. All right, Leo, if you would like a reading, check out my link in bio. Hi, Virgo. Okay, so this nice trine for you, this is going to be really helpful. With the Sun and Neptune in your seventh house, you're really evolving out of old ways of being in relationships. You're elevating majorly in your relationships into soul connections that are unconditionally loving, and you will be tested in those connections usually. So you break down all the walls until you realize that you are a being of unconditional love and meant to find relationships that are, of that soul resonance, so you can share your unconditional love with each other. And with Jupiter in your 10th house, you focusing on your dream, like what do you want to manifest in love, in life, and feeling very expansive with that, and getting internally aligned with what you truly believe that you can really create. And everything in your third house and second house, you can have very powerful transformative communication. Just make sure you like calm down a little bit before you really come at it. And you're having an upgraded sense of value and worth in prioritizing what you value out of love and relationships. And yeah, there can be a major breakthrough with all of this. Definitely focus on what you want for your future out of love, out of life, and have that big vision. And then I think you can really get into alignment with your connections and talk about it. All right, so let's see. Storyteller came out on your side. So you're releasing the old ways reversed. So you're releasing the ways that you used to maybe tell yourself negative stories about life that was actually like limiting you. You're becoming aware of it. So we don't always realize, when we're telling ourselves some sort of story or negative narrative or whatever, but we've been so heavily programmed by society and everything. You're realizing, how can you tell yourself a better story about your love life so it can really serve you in creating the beautiful love life that you truly deserve. You might also be getting major messages with like symbols and spirit animals coming your way that can really majorly guide you during this time. And they're releasing slave mentality. So maybe they're a slave to, there's so much slave mentality in our lives, with work and everything. Like maybe they're prioritizing work too much. Maybe they're grinding too much. Maybe they're, um, you know, thinking that they have to be a slave in relationships or overgive in relationships to be loved, and therefore they don't like let anybody in fully because they don't want to be a slave, something like that. Let's see what else is coming up on your side. Four of Swords is on your side. So you're releasing anxieties, or there is a need to kind of rest in this connection. It seems like there might be misunderstandings in this connection, and there's a need to kind of like go within and prioritize yourself. Mercury rules you. So, you feel these retrogrades a little bit more. So don't be afraid to kind of go within and really focus on your inner world and what you want to manifest out of love and life. And yeah, and do the inner work, I guess, before you don't project it out onto your significant other, I guess. And King of Cups reverse came out on their side. So they're seeing where they didn't really prioritize their emotions, where they dimmed their emotions. Emotions are only going to get louder and louder now. Like if you're not listening to your emotions and you're rejecting them and you're just forcing your body to go in a certain direction, that's going to get louder and louder and louder, like, because you'll start to have bodily issues, actually. Like, it's important to start facing emotions and letting those fully come on, because that's how they have been a slave in their life too. And not surrendering to that deeper knowing and trust of their soul that's really speaking to them and to the divine. So they've been preoccupied with all the wrong things. Three of Cups. I think, they're just preoccupied with a lot of things. You might think they're like, they have other people or anything, but I think they're just busy with the wrong things, So there actually is a need for them to prioritize themselves. The Knight of Cups came out on their side. So realizing where they need to have that self-love, to really care for themselves, to really, prioritize how they feel and the life that they want to live. So, they can, just live a better life. An Emperor came out on your side. I think there's a way that you can upgrade your masculine energy during this, and then also focusing on the kind of masculine that you want to enter, that you want to allow into your life. I'm seeing both, like boy, or if you're masculine or feminine, like upgrade to the masculine. Let's see. And also knowing that the masculine will pursue you when he's ready. The Emperor is like the masculine energy that doesn't fool around. They know what they want. They have the big vision. They have the plan, and then they come in. So yeah, don't worry too much about like the third parties or anything. Like it's time to just like focus on the story that you want to manifest. Yeah, because big karmic cycles are being released. The Devil came out and reversed in between you guys. So this is old ways of tying yourselves in relationships that was out of fear, out of scarcity, out of the old ways of being, that really were keeping you in a lower level of love. A higher level of love wants to come in this connection. And it looks like they will want to reach out to you and they will want to talk to you, but they're going to be holding back because it looks like they're going through this moment of really realizing something deeper within themselves, and from that deeper emotional place of what's truly meaningful to them, what their soul truly craves. So yeah, Eight of Swords, it's like you guys aren't seeing, there might be some intensity like during this retrograde with, in between you guys, the Devil came out and the Eight of Swords came out. So it's just like you guys aren't seeing each other's point of view just yet. So on your side, it looks like there's storytelling and maybe you think there's a third party. On their side, it looks like, they're just like taking a time to like really get in within themselves. But both of this, I mean, this can like really bring, unwind, deeper patterns in relationships on both sides. So let's see what else. What's on your side? Divine Masculine rebirth. So allowing the Divine Masculine to really step up into his masculine energy, but he's not there yet, and escaping, avoiding, blocking, pushing away. maybe realizing where you push somebody away or you put the block ups, you let the anxiety and the fears and the, monkey mind get to you before anything can really fully develop in this. And that's what's being released. And they're getting in touch with their ecstasy. So what like really, instead of the short term chasing thrills and the excitement and a good time, they're doing it at that deep soul level. Like what is sustainably bringing them ecstasy, for the long term, not the short term. And pride came out in between, you guys. So it's like egos might be coming up during this, but that's what's breaking down. Like where you would put the shield up, where you would be too stubborn, where you wouldn't want to see the other side. That's what's being broken down right now. Okay, so what's the outcome? What's the outcome? Three of Wands. So moving forward again with a new vision towards more passions, a different way of being in this relationship. It's going to be fun. It's going to be lighter. It's going to be more expansive. It's going to be something new too. So if there was an old vision or old way of being in this connection, the plans are kind of being rewritten. One more. What's the outcome? Releasing judgments. So instead of pushing things too fast, too soon, waiting for the call, but also releasing a lot of just old judgments that were just in both of you with seeing the world. So what's the advice for you in old ways of seeing relationships? The world. Yay. Okay. So focus on your vision with what you want to manifest in your love life, because it looks like a whole new elevated cycle is definitely going to be beginning out of this, but it comes from your internal alignment first and you looking at the horizon. Definitely play the long-term game and don't jump to conclusions. Allow things to kind of come together at the right time when a new chapter is going to really start. Express love through gifts. A small token of love can convey appreciation. Yeah. So don't underestimate just a small act of kindness, how far that can really go. Even, things, even if there is like friction, that can be a major like icebreaker during this time. And messages from your person. I have been working on myself. I'm scared you will reject me. All right, Virgo, if you would like a reading, check out my link in bio. All right, Libra. So this is a nice air trine for you. Even though this Mercury retrograde is a little bit more active because it's in your first house, you have Venus and Mercury and the sun in your sign. You're radiating, you are glorious. You are going to be able to get more of what you want, actually. And with Mars in the second house, you know what you want. You're passionate about it. You know what you deserve. But at the same time, you might be going through a transformation with your values. With Jupiter in the ninth house, you're really liberating yourself with previous belief systems that were holding you back, whether they were spiritual or just a story that you told yourself, or just a way you saw the world before that, wasn't the way that wasn't serving you. It was actually like limiting you. And then the Saturn and Neptune in this sixth house, you're releasing yourself from old, heavy karmic cycles when it comes to relationships, just going through a big unwinding with that so you can prioritize like living a life that you love, that you're passionate about every single day, being more in flow with your higher self and being a little limitless with that versus being too, bind down. So I really love this. Okay, definitely focus on your vision that you want to manifest out of love, life, and this connection. And yeah, you can get really lucky with that. So let's look at the cards. Liberator came out for you. So you are liberating yourself from and others from outdated beliefs, releasing negative thought patterns, and they came out as the child orphan. So they're going through a little bit of a deeper time. You know, they might be a little bit like hermit mode within themselves, like really kind of, Mars rules your seventh house and it's, going through Scorpio and a Fucus right now. So they might be really kind of going deep within, and really facing where they lived life out of survival or fears or, those Scorpio things, high level Scorpio is always like unapologetically in pursuit of their joy. And anywhere where they're not letting themselves do that is like the lower parts of Scorpio, like the shame, the guilt, the sexual repression, and all of that. So, they're facing all those deeper things that, could have even come from childhood, maybe abandonment issues, where they are going through a transformation so they can have a higher level of love. So Six of Swords, you're ready to move on from, the past and tumultuous times, and you're looking towards the horizon and what can possibly happen in this connection in love. They're the Nine of Swords. So, I mean, Venus rules you, so it's in Libra right now. It's doing pretty good. So, you're going to be seeing the horizon and the beauty and the harmony and the magic, and you're receiving trines, so like you're going to be connecting to the universe is giving you a boost, and they're just going through it. So there's beliefs at the same time that you're releasing. You're breaking out of beliefs, obviously, and Nine of Swords came out on their side, so there's kind of like mental anxiety going on within. There could be just thoughts that aren't even theirs that are kind of affecting them right now. They're feeling anxious and they don't know why, and they have to like get into the deeper feelings to realize why. So don't take it personally if they're like holding back during this. They're just kind of going within. Six of Pentacles, though, they want to make things more fair, more balanced, more grounded, equal give and take in the relationship, but also a lot of security, a lot of solidness in this relationship. They're seeing where things can be more solid for sure and more just equal. Okay. Let's see on your side. Seven of Wands. So yeah, again, if you're feeling defensive or anything, these are just like old ways of being in relationships and in love that aren't serving you, that you're definitely releasing. You're releasing where you used to be defensive in love and liberating yourself from that. Two of Wands came out on their side. So yeah, they're, with this deep internal like realization that they're going through, they're going to get into alignment with a bigger vision that they're really passionate about, more passion in this connection, but more excitement. And then just seeing where things can really go in the future, because things weren't balanced. So the Justice card came out reversed, and between you guys, things weren't balanced before. And it's really like, this retrograde is going to balance things out and really make things more fair and really release you guys from what's not serving you in this connection anymore. And yeah, it's just going to be coming in slowly. The Knight of Pentacles really coming in slowly. In between you, the Two of Cups, this is a really strong soulmate connection. And, it's helping you guys grow and evolve. It's, there might be just a little bit more like going within and resting on both sides during this. And during that, just like let yourself rest and don't let the anxiety kind of get in between you guys. Because yeah, Justice card, came out reversed, but you're elevating. You're both being very true to your hearts and very radically honest with yourselves, but also getting in touch with your soul and that higher aspect of yourselves, so you can come back stronger and better. So let's see. Why are these So when cards fall onto the ground, it's like the lower dense energies being transmuted and being made lighter. So where you were exhausted, where you were depleted, where you were drained, you might have been overgiving in this connection or connections in general. You're realizing you don't have to overgive anymore. You don't have to deplete yourself. And it's time to prioritize like what you love, what you truly value, and leading your life from your higher self and your soul, and seeing how that just gives you more energy instead of making you feel too exhausted and depleted. Twin flame came out on their side. So mirroring, shared feelings, reflection. You guys are definitely mirroring each other in some way. Running in between you guys. So that's a twin flame thing too. You know, this might be a thing where things got like tough, where one of you would kind of ghost and run and not deal with it, where it's finally coming up now so you guys can deal with it. So, and things can be faced so you can elevate to the next cycle of love and have, you know, a stronger connection, even though it's never comfortable. Okay, so what is the outcome? The Tower, an awakening, kind of breaking something down that has been there for a while. So you can have a fresh new beginning, and so you can be aligned with what is really meant for you, and you know, that higher vision of manifestation. So communication is going to be coming out of nowhere, and it's definitely going to be some sort of communication that you never really thought that you would get clarity with. This is so interesting. Let me get one more. Yeah, a recognition of this strong soulmate connection that you never thought you would kind of get from this masculine energy. The King of Wands, like, you know, doesn't always show how he feels and doesn't show the love always, but it's like that is being broken down. So, like, deeper love can be shown in this connection. So you guys can, you know, get to more harmony and balance. And 2 6s came out in the Two of Cups. So this is a strong soulmate connection. Love is blooming and love is definitely coming in. And it's all about letting kind of the breakdown for the breakthrough to happen, for more passion and liberation and beauty in this connection. So let's pull one more card. Advice for you. Or not one more card, right? I want to pull the Whispers of Love. One advice for you. Release what's not your burden. You know, you're very empathetic and you can care and you can realize that the stuff that they're putting themselves through out of wounds and everything. But at the same time, you got to realize what's not yours, you know, to carry. People individually have to figure out their own stuff. So you are giving their stuff back to them so they can deal with it, so they can release it, and it doesn't have to come into this connection anymore. Because when that happens, it's never does the connection a service. And yeah, it's just you taking on too much. So moral of the story is you're liberating yourself from taking on too much in love, because it never served you. It was never going, even though it was coming from love, it was never going to elevate you into that higher level of love. So elevate and look, relationship patterns. So it takes strength to recognize the need for change. So relationship patterns are massively being changed for you during this. Receive with love and appreciation. Gracious acceptance is the way to show love. So yeah, you're learning how to receive more love instead of constantly give love, and to feel like you need to do too much for love. It's time to kind of sit back in your own, to like really sit with your own self-love and self-care, and then receive that magical love that can come in a whole new way that you never really expected. And this will make love a lot lighter, a lot more fun, a lot more enjoyable. Messages from your person. I keep hoping to bump into you everywhere I go. I'm afraid that I lost you forever, and I want to hold you. All right, Libra, if you would like a reading, check out my link in bio. Hi, Scorpio. Okay, so the way that you can take advantage of this trine during this Mercury retrograde is with Neptune and Saturn, like really getting to your core of your being and really being truthful and honest with yourself. At the same time, not letting any stories from the past and, you know, relationships from the past affect your view of how relationships should go moving forward. With Jupiter in the 8th house, you're really clearing out a lot of just the emotional stuff that kept you stuck in life and also in relationships. It's going to be easier to open up and be a little bit more vulnerable and to kind of go through a Kundalini awakening, actually, with Jupiter in the 8th house. That happens because it's like it's cleansing out all your chakras. So you get rid of all of those distortions. So you become a magnet for the love and the life and the relationships that are really just meaningful to you. And with Neptune and, with Venus and Mercury in the 12th house, you're really clearing out old stories of the past when it comes to your relationships and ways of self-sabotaging in relationships or blocking out love or any of the things that you truly want. And you're really just getting connected to that higher version of yourself. So you can really step into that highest version of yourself and realize that you are so worthy of love. And when I made a video on TikTok about your imagination, but your imagination is actually and I see a squirrel. Your imagination is actually a quantum manifesting tool. So you get in touch with all possibilities and all probabilities and all the versions of yourselves, and you can definitely do that with everything in the 12th house right now. And, in a very powerful way, you're just seeing the possible realities that you can create. And it's all up to you to just choose what reality you want to create. And it's more so allowing yourself to remember and be that bigger aspect of you versus trying to become, or anything like that. So let's see what cards are coming out for you. So we got student. There's a way to have just allow yourself to be the student in love in this relationship and allow yourself to learn more. Versus going back to expectations or anything. And bullying came out for them. So that's weird. So bully when light highlights your tendency to intimidate others, helps you confront the inner fears that bully you. When shadow conceals deep fears behind verbal or physical abuse, well, it came out, upright. So, yeah, your significant other might be pushing forward in a way, and it might be out of fears that they're suppressing in themselves. But I think this is a time where they're really confronting those fears, so they don't allow, those fears to, control them, and push things forward too much in life and in love, and possibly in this relationship. 7 of Wands came out on your side reversed. So you're releasing the need to be too defensive. You're opening up in some way. Eight of Pentacles. It looks like you're both learning some sort of lessons. They're slowing down to learn things more where they thought they knew it all in love, in this connection. they're discovering they need to learn things also. Nine of Pentacles. So a message is definitely coming your way, but it's going to be a little bit slower to come your way. And it's going to have to do with the Two of Cups, which is love, connection, you know, soulmates. I think they could be recognizing that you guys are, you know, soulmates, and that this is a deep connection. And that's what deep connections do. They bring the, you know, they break down all the insecurities and all the walls that we have and all the expectations or premeditated judgments that weren't real, that weren't actually coming from love. And they really think the world of you. Queen of Pentacles, you know, they're really, you know, prioritizing just love, beauty, abundance, stability, security. Oh, and King of Pentacles. So they're recognizing the counterparts energy. And I think you guys are counterparts. And, you know, you have to move slower. I mean, you don't have to move slower in this connections, but this connection right now, it's like you guys are moving slower. So there might be a little bit of a wait time in between you guys during this time. The Hermit came out in between you know, you guys getting in touch with your own worlds and discovering internally what you have to learn so you guys can come back to this in a very strong way. And Five of Cups, it's where you guys both were pessimistic in the past, and where you guys limited yourself from that place of, you know, being pessimistic and not looking at the bright side and the horizon and the best possibilities that you can possibly manifest in love and life, realization and loyalty. So you're going to be having epiphanies. There might be, you know, for deeper understandings, right? Like where there was misunderstandings before, there's like a light bulb, there's awareness. You're seeing where things can be better in love, and you know, you're realizing things about them, and it's making you realize that they are very loyal in what you want to be loyal with. And you might want to be loyal to yourself in some way. You might be deciding where you abandoned yourself in relationships in the past where you're not doing that anymore. And yeah, it seems like they're getting out of self-sabotage mode. They're going deep. You know, it was actually where they never let themselves go deep, and escaping came out in between both of you. So both of you probably didn't like face these things, but it caused blockages and it caused you guys to push each other away. But, you know, them not being able to recognize their own emotions and going deep within themselves actually caused that hopelessness, and that, you know, just keeping it all bottled up within, and cause them to act, you know, more like a bully, more like pushing forward, and this is how it should be, and instead of like really emotionally talking about it and listening. So the depth is the awareness that they're reaching to, awareness to the depth, importance, in what they truly value. And what they value is this connection. They want the King of Pentacles, they want the Queen of Pentacles. They want a counterpart connection that is a power couple, that is like really solid, secure, you know, focused on abundance and beauty in life. So yeah, let me pull a love card. Or no, what is the outcome? So what is the outcome? Releasing the Ten of Swords. So yeah, this was kind of like something that needed to come up eventually. The Ten of Swords reverse, it's like this mental anxiety, mental burden that was just weighing like so heavily on this connection. And then just this awakening comes through, this realization moment, the Tower, that breaks through that illusion completely and kind of clears the way. Advice for you. Temperance. So advice for you: stay patient, stay balanced, stay focused on your vision. But yeah, there is a need to go within, balance out the physical and the spiritual, so you can see a better way to move forward. But yeah, patience is going to be key. But also at the same time, it's leading this connection towards way more expansion for your future. Let's pull a love card. I gotta fix my hair in the back. Have patience. Have patience. Love is patient and kind always. So you're releasing your own blocks and everything. And Mars is going to be going through a fucus, which rules you. So going through a rebirth for sure. And like attracts like. You can realize what you're dealing with, what you might be projecting on them, what they might be projecting on you. It's like both of you are kind of, do you just have the same wound? So it just takes more awareness and more love to those wounds to kind of heal them and release them back to the void and everything, so it doesn't block you in love. Okay, and messages from your person. Your energy is intoxicating and it's pulling me in. Yeah, get into that magnetic Scorpio energy. Really magnetize. I'm sorry I hurt you. I didn't realize what I had until it was gone. You're worth more to me than I let on. So yeah, they're definitely loyal to you in a way. And, you know, maybe you guys need to separate for a little bit, but definitely know what you want in love. Stay open though, and know that this is a strong soulmate connection. And it looks like they really appreciate it, and they're going to come in after, you know, they go through their own things. All right, Scorpio, if you would like a reading, check out my link in bio. Hi, Sagittarius. Okay, so what you can do with this nice little air trine giving you a little boost, you know, you're releasing past maybe distortions that were, you know, in the core of your being, like, and getting in touch with the real core of your being with this Saturn, Neptune stuff going on, releasing old illusions from the past with family, with relationships, with what you learned there. And you're seeing a new way to balance out relationships that is in alignment with your hopes and your dreams for your future. You can see your biggest hopes and dreams, and you can manifest them pretty easily and get in touch with that vision. And then with Jupiter in the 7th house, you are very lucky in relationships, your one-on-one relationships right now. And it is prime time to attract in a soulmate connection that brings a lot of growth and abundance to both of you. And that is, yeah, really, you know, a like-minded person. Jupiter in the 7th house always brings people that that bring you a lot of growth, you know, and growth in a fun way. You know, you're on the same page, and yeah, so this is really nice. You know, it looks like major breakthroughs, so you can release past distortions about love and whatever, and so you can have a beautiful love life. And then Jupiter's going retrograde too. So you're going to be kind of reevaluating what you want out of your significant relationship and getting internally aligned with that deeper internal aspect of you. So yeah, interesting cards. You came out as God. So benevolent and compassionate, recognizing the eternal force within yourself and others. So you're getting in tune with yourself in a whole new way, and you're feeling very powerful with that. Your higher self is strongly speaking to you right now. And child eternal came out for your significant other. So, and the card fell down, so that what I see is like that lower aspect of maybe being childish or whatever, like, is like coming up to have a transformation. So light attribute, determination to remain young in body, mind, spirit, ability to see new things with fresh eyes. So yeah, they're kind of like getting into their eternal inner child, you know, who they were before, you know, the life happened and everything, and we got talked out of being who we truly are, you know, and that's always great when we do that, because then we can have really strong authentic soulmate connections that are way more fun, way more vibrant, way more exciting, and way more beautiful, and way more that, and allows both of us to be more so connected to our higher selves and live life from that higher aspect of ourselves versus the lower aspect of ourselves. Okay, and Magician came out on your side. So some communication, like what you're manifesting is coming true. You are manifesting. You have a strong vision. You realize it can happen, and it's just happening. Like Sagittarius kind of looks like they have a God complex. You know, that's what else is new. So, and the star came out for you, for your significant other. So they're focused on their manifestations too. So it's kind of like your manifestations, what you want to create and what they want to create. It's really lining up. And this could be a very synchronistic, fated connection, just full of, you know, just abundance and just beauty and magic. So that's very exciting. So what's being released? The devil is coming out reverse on your side. So you're seeing where you might have trapped yourself in connections of the past or karmic connections that didn't really serve you, but realize that karma is actually just the force that allows us to self-actualize in a stronger way. It's not like anything that keeps us stuck. You know, it's just us realizing where we can more fully be ourselves, where we had a blind spot, where we had a distortion within us, where we needed to, just have some sort of awareness that, so we, you know, can self-actualize in a way that is truly representative of the true version of us. So strength came out. So you're with the Hangman reverse. So you're fully stepping into your power at the same time. You know, and the power is actually coming from vulnerability, you know, having that open heart, realizing that you can just have that open heart, not hold back as much. And as long as you're really just speaking your truth from your heart, then that is what's required to radical, just truth from the heart and authenticity. And it clears out kind of all the things that were in the way. Because actually what was in the way was Five of Swords and Two of Swords. So these are lower aspects of the monkey mind, like telling stories, thinking there's going to be a fight, assuming things on the other side, not seeing each other's point of view, where to cut through all of that, it's really like you're just sharing what you feel, what's really truly in your heart. And it's making you, like where you were going back and forth before, it's going to be able to release you from this karmic cycle that you were in with relationships and relationship patterns, so you can manifest what you want to manifest. And they're going to, you know, reach out to you in the same way. Page of Cups came out on their side. So they want to reach out with emotion, with love. And, but yeah, they are moving very slowly with it. So where this actually could move really fast, because you guys both feel it and you guys both want this and everything, there is like this slowdown. So you guys kind of get realigned in a certain way. So let me pull this on your side. So you're releasing a negative mindset because you're getting some sort of clarity. And it might be something where you thought you were cursed or something. I don't really believe in curses. If you're vibrating high enough, like the curse is not going to affect you. And it only takes your belief in all of that stuff to make it happen. But you're getting clarity. You're getting clarity with their intentions. You're getting clarity within yourself. And you're being deeply honest with like your true vision. See, this is like a lens. You're really coming into focus with your vision of love and this relationship. And they're going deep, depth. They're recognizing the importance of what they truly value and the depth of their emotions and their emotions in this connection. And yeah, it's bringing them some sort of clarity too with the match. It's lighting the way in some case, or, you know, lighting up their own passions. Shallow, emptiness, boredom. Why do these cards keep on coming out in between you? So yeah, I mean, it's both like brilliant cards on both sides, and then like in between, when I pull cards like for in between you, like it's just the swords, the two of swords, the five of swords, like thinking there's going to be a fight, not seeing each other's point of view, thinking you guys are both shallow, and this maybe is a shallow connection because you're not talking about the depth, and you're not getting to the point. Maybe you guys have been dealing with each other in a more shallow way. So what is the outcome of this? One more card in between you, because I want to see what is going on too. This is, yeah, it's like a message from one side or the other that wants to come out, but it's taking forever to come out, and somebody's like withholding it. So there's just no clarity with that. So what's the outcome? Page of Wands reversed, releasing immaturity, Three of Cups. Some sort of alignment with fun and a group of people. Maybe you guys like go out, have fun, meet up with a group of people, talk about like if you thought there was a third party, maybe there's not a third party. Outcome. What more for outcome? The moon, yeah, secrets come, moon reverse. So secrets coming out, you know, deeper feelings really being revealed, illusions being cut through. Three of Cups. I think it's going to bring some more fun, at least, to this connection. Okay, let me pull advice for you, because this is like a little confusing. Advice for you. Not this much advice, too much advice. Oh, was that off the entire time? That's so annoying. Okay, hopefully that wasn't off too long. Okay, advice for you. Advice for Sagittarius. Death. Let a rebirth happen. There is transformation afoot, and you know, Mars is going through a fucus, so there might be a death and rebirth with the passion, with the way you guys pursue this relationship. And yeah, the, you know, you shed the skin of the old of what no longer works, so you can align in a stronger way moving forward. Let's pull a love card. But I think you're definitely needing to trust in your vision and in God, and let the universe kind of show you the path. You know, trust the signs, trust the synchronicities, trust God, trust your connection to your higher self, whatever. Love makes the difference. Love helps heal past hurts and provide a sense of security and self-worth. So know that love is definitely healing you in this connection, and your love life. Messages from your person. Oh yeah. Yeah, just opening yourself up to more unconditional love from God and everything. I think that's the best way forward. Okay, and messages from your person to you is, I want to apologize. I need your forgiveness. I need to tell you the truth. I'm ready for commitment. All right, Sagittarius, that was a wild ride. Very exciting. Usually always is. I hope this is a good retrograde for you. And yeah, if you would like a reading, check out my link in bio. Hello, Capricorn. Yep. Okay. So what you can do with this nice trine helping you out with this retrograde is that you're resetting your 10th house and you're motivated towards your hopes and your dreams and your vision and you're elevating to a higher level with that. Um, you're unraveling the ways that you used to communicate or hold you back, like, hold yourself back when it comes to communication. And there can be a refresh with being more open and vulnerable in communication, speaking more so from heart to heart versus ego to ego. And let's see. Yeah, allowing your higher self to speak through you a little bit more, but also you could have new perspectives. And then Jupiter in the sixth house bring you from, old karma when it comes to relationships. You're recognizing what cycles and patterns do not serve you anymore. So you can elevate into abundant new relationships. And yeah, so let's see what the cards say for you. Okay, so Midas touch. Realize that you have the Midas touch, and you can turn anything into gold. And you're recognizing what cycles do not serve you anymore. There was a way that you manifested in the past when it comes to love and life and maybe what you used to value that you don't value anymore. And it looks like your person came out as the guide. So they're kind of acting like a guide in this connection. And a lot of the times, like really strong soulmate connections, like even twin flames and everything, they can be a guide for us to, for better or worse, like to allow us to go on a higher path, to step into a higher version of ourselves and into more embodiment. But with that, they're releasing the 10 of Wands. So this is a belief system that was really, really heavy and it was keeping them preoccupied and prioritizing other things. But this is where they're releasing this to really start something that is way more fitting for them. So, if there was something keeping them from this relationship, they're releasing it because they're prioritizing it, because they're feeling the call. Judgment came out on their side. They're feeling the call in a certain direction and they can't ignore it. And the Five of Pentacles, you're releasing disappointments from the past. And when you do that, you're opening yourself up so much more. You're not letting the past and past pains hold you back from love and living the best life that you truly want. Because the King of Cups came out underneath the Five of Cups. So you're paying attention to the bright side and how you want to feel and trusting your intuition, and your soul guidance is really strong. Your connection to your higher self is really strong. And they might be waiting for a message for you. The Knight of Swords came out reversed on their side. So they're seeing like where communication was off and where they might reach out, but they're going to take out a little bit longer to reach out and reach out in the right way. But they're feeling the call for better communication. Four of Pentacles. So in between you, there's a need to release the past and material things that you were holding on to too tightly. When the Four of Pentacles comes out, it's like releasing, and it's reversed, releasing heavier, dense material things that, you're holding on for safety and security or protection, and not really letting anybody in, not letting love in. Because there was some sort of like block in between you guys with this, where you were both standing very firm on either side and not really letting the other person in. And you will be able to let each other in when this heaviness from the past gets released. So on your side, you're getting clarity. You're being very honest and truthful with yourself and then in your relationship. And they're very loyal to you. They're recognizing where they want to be loyal, where they want to direct their time in their energy. They want to be reliable. They actually are starting to believe in this connection. But yeah, clarity on your side, truth, and you're getting some sort of clarity with their intentions, and they're going to be honest with you. Resistance. So in the middle, there was always resistance. There was this block, there was this wall, different ideologies, things from the past getting in the way. You guys were suppressing your emotions. And yeah, that's what was causing, this, like, you guys not being on the same page. So what is the outcome? King of Wands. So masculine really stepping up in a whole new way with a whole new vision. A fire really being lit underneath them. That's making them really passionate. Five of Wands. Coming back to a past fight, a past argument. But coming back with that missing piece that was missing originally. So things can be clarified. Yep. And then happiness, the sun. So happiness will come from this, but it is like going back to a past disagreement that was causing a heavy burden on both sides. Actually, it was like, you don't want to move forward. They're like holding on to stuff, and it just kind of came from like stuff in the past, whether it was this relationship or not in this relationship. But that will be getting cleared up, because that was all just creating a bunch of resistance. So this new beginning can happen. So let's pull a card. Love card. Rest and relaxation is essential. So whenever you need a break from this connection, make sure you're getting into yourself and prioritizing your vision and your desires and what you want. We all have a fundamental need to take a break and consider the foundation. Look at how committed you are to love. So yeah, they're very loyal. They're looking at the foundation of everything, and they're prioritizing love. And yeah, it looks like this is a nice, like, foundational reset with love that is calling you guys both forward to a higher timeline of more love, happiness, joy, and abundance, and amazingness all around. So what is their message to you? I don't feel like I deserve you. So whatever whatever they are resisting on, it's just because they weren't valuing themselves enough. I'm on my way to you. Okay, Capricorn, if you would like a reading, check out my link in bio. Thank you so much. Hi, Aquarius. Okay, so let's do a reading for you. So I love this nice trend that you have going on with this Mercury retrograde. You're reevaluating what you're driven towards out in the world, when it comes to your legacy, how you show up out in the world, what are your beliefs when it comes to manifesting love and life and all the good things in life. And with Saturn and Neptune in the second house, you're recognizing what you value at that deeper spiritual level and what you want to prioritize, what you need to let go of. And then the Jupiter in the fifth, yeah, expansion with love, fun, creativity, excitement. You could be meeting people that are just very, fun, passionate, like-minded and everything. And yeah, so I love that. You could have a lot of kind of rework things to have a lot more fun in your relationships. So let's see what archetype I'm getting for you guys. Let's look to the cards. Engineer and companion, and they got a permit. So I think you're realizing where maybe you were a little too logical about relationships. Engineer, ability to give creative energy a practical expression, talent for designing resolutions to a common dilemma. And yeah, I think you're recognizing you want like a partner in crime with bringing more beauty, love, and companion, or yeah, just all the good things in life. It's good to have a companion. And your person might be a little hermit mode, seeking solitude, a little bit more focus on themselves and their inner life. And yeah, the moon came out on your side. So you're facing some sort of, deeper emotions that might have been hidden from you. Really getting aware of things at a deeper level. And your awareness is leading you towards a whole new beginning. A whole new beginning where there was normally usually a power struggle in the past. It's like you're taking a leap, you're doing something different, you're starting something fresh. And it might be jumping into this relationship in a whole new way. Or it might be, yeah, just jumping into life in a whole new way. And Ace of Cups came out reversed. So it's looked, your person is actually like releasing something from the past when it comes to relationships. So they can focus on the star that came out. The star, they're looking at a new way to be in love, and they're focusing on their manifestations and resting so they get really clear with what they want and what's going on in between you guys. Five of Swords, Strength. Okay. So Five of Swords reversed, coming back to some sort of argument or disagreement, and maybe things were held back with the Nine of Pentacles reversed. Not everything was said, but in order for things to be really solid and really secure in this relationship, it needed to be hashed out, needed to be brought up, and strength came out. So this is like after a disagreement and not being on the same page, you guys are a little bit more vulnerable. You guys are speaking from the heart, and things are coming back together in a certain way. So realize that by you doing you're both kind of doing the same thing in different ways. They're going hermit mode to release, anxieties from the past. There's a need to release and, face like, yeah, if you force the Four of Swords out, like before they're ready, before the rest happens, then things go wrong, because you act out of anxieties and everything. But they're coming forward with a new vision after this rest and rejuvenation. And I think there's something that they needed to get off of their chest, and you guys can like talk about it. And where you thought they were just being difficult before with this like Five of Pentacles is where you're getting more clarity with relationships in general and with this relationship, and being more open and honest with each other in a deeper way. But it definitely looks like an evolution is happening here in this relationship. When the moon comes out, it's always like becoming aware of what we weren't previously aware of, which could be like a hidden aspect in life or of ourselves, and us becoming aware of it so we can, jump in and manifest in a whole new way. So let's see what else. Uh-oh, let me fix the microphone. One sec, let me make sure. Okay, let's see. Confession. So you need to confess something. I think you were keeping something secret from them, but you unveiling it and coming clean with it will make this relationship stronger. Yeah. And were they kind of froze before, or were they like didn't share their feelings, where they felt like stuck, tied down, just yeah, they're opening up even more so. So that's going to help this connection a lot. An apology. Yeah, it's kind of like in the middle between you guys, an apology is going to happen. So, things just come back together in a really strong way. And let's pull a love card for you. Love makes the difference. Love helps heal past hurts and provide a sense of security and self-worth. So more love is coming in, and it's going to bring so much magic into this connection. See, I love this card because it is literally a wave of glittery diamonds and magic. So that's magical. And a message from your person to you is, I want to apologize. I need your forgiveness. All right, Aquarius, if you would like a reading, check out my link in bio. Hi, Pisces. Okay, so with this nice trine, with this retrograde for you, you get some help with, really stepping into a whole new version of yourself, wherever you limited yourself from your full self-expression, bringing that higher dimensional version of you internally, more external, so you can self-actualize and bring that, and just expect like your dreams to like really come true in, life and love and everything. And the Mercury retrograde happening in your 8th house and 9th house, you're really, ninth house, you're looking at that bigger vision of what you possibly want to manifest in your life. And you could be having those deeper conversations in your relationship. But you're really getting in touch with your core, with the Jupiter in the 4th house, you're getting like so in tune with your original frequency and, just who you are at the core of your being, that and how you want to feel, that it's giving you a lot of guidance with how to fully step into yourself and how to have those in-depth conversations and know that you're worthy of love, know what kind of love you want to manifest, and, also being able to easily attract in that love. Okay, so let's look at the cards. So Addicts came out. So where you were reaching outside for energy, you're releasing that, where you were kind of looking at, and we do this sometimes, especially with really strong connections, is feeling like we need that energy. We want that energy. Like you're obsessed with them, in the beginning. But now you're realizing that that is actually energy that you already have within you. So it's actually getting you in touch with this higher aspect of you. And Goddess came out. So in 4 of Wands. So Goddess came out on their side. So like the feminine energy is definitely coming out on their side, and they might be seeing you as the goddess if you're the feminine. But Goddess is feminine expressed through wisdom, nature, full life force, sensuality. And in the 4 of Wands, one sec, I gotta get my dogs. There's a feminine rebirth here that is laying a more solid foundation that wasn't there before. So the 4 of Wands is a high-level soulmate card. It's like a twin flame, or like a strong counterpart energy. And it's like the foundation wasn't fully solid because the feminine is coming alive in a whole new way, with the Goddess on their side and the High Priestess reversed on your side. You're fully stepping into that higher knowing of things. And, we both have feminine energy, whether we're masculine or feminine. And that's just definitely coming alive right now. Page of Wands, a passionate message might be coming your way. Queen of Swords. Wait, I'm going to shuffle these. My hands kind of hurt because this is the last one. And these cards are new, so they don't shuffle as easily. But like, I have to. I just have to. Okay. Nine of Swords reversed on your side. So where there was a lot of questions, where there was a lot of mental anxiety, where there was, beliefs from the monkey mind that were just kind of going and going and going, you're tapping more so into yourself and into that higher aspect of yourself and tuning into, like it literally is just source. It's recognizing your own connection to source and to God. That's the only way that that fulfillment gets satisfied, especially if you're dealing with a twin flame or a high-level soulmate connection. You have to tune within to fulfill that within yourself. And that's the only way this connection can come around. But these connections, that's the point of these connections, is so you get connected to your higher self at that higher dimensional level. Queen of Pentacles reversed. So yeah, where the feminine wasn't prioritized. And then also realizing what your person is realizing where they didn't prioritize the feminine, where they didn't value that security, that reliability, the sensuality, just the steady, consistent, like good things in life, where they're realizing they should prioritize that because that's how you have, you know, a really good life. So Hierophant came out reversed on your side. So it's like you didn't know what to commit to fully and you didn't know what to value fully. But that's what you're really getting awareness of in this retrograde. And Knight of Swords. So they're going to be coming forward with some sort of communication. They're going to be feeling a little bit more like a baller. This Knight of Swords is so funny. Okay, so that looks like newspapers, but I thought that was like dollar bills, like flying around, and he looks like so businessy, you know. Um, but yeah, that seems like a message coming from them that seems like a little cocky. And I think it's time for you to fully realize like where the boundaries need to go, what kind of commitment you want, what kind of relationship you want, and then go from there. So what's happening in between you guys? Nine of Cups, there's a lot. You guys are actually both being individually self-fulfilled from this connection. So it's really tuning on all your emotions and really making you see, you know, value yourselves at this higher level. So this connection feels good to both of you. You both like it. You both are very kind of addicted to it even. Let's see. Heart fog, where you're breaking through heart fog, you know, where there was mixed, you thought there was mixed signals or blocked emotions or things, you thought things were messed up. Things are getting cleared up with this. And they're hoping for things to go well. They're expecting, they're manifesting a higher version of this, and you're getting clear with your heart and in between you. Where things were very surface before, you guys are finally going to be going deeper. Shallow came out in between you. So it's like there are these deeper emotions, they just weren't ever talked about. And now they're going to be cleared up. Lusting in between you. Forbidden, non-committal sexual energy. So yeah, there's a lot of lust and everything. So that's why it can seem like surface sometimes, but the emotions are deeper, you know, so that's what's going to be cut through. So what's the love card for Pisces? Actions speak loudly, express your love through actions, and love who you are. You are divine, delightful, and deserving of the wonderful things life has to offer. So know you are worthy, and you just have to connect to your higher self to really get that fulfillment. So you stop looking for it outside of yourself, and then they'll realize like you're the Queen of Pentacles. You bring that abundance, you bring that fulfillment, you bring that fire and that passion, and you guys can really build a beautiful foundation together and everything. But it's all about getting to those deeper emotions so you can commit in a whole new way and not being afraid to ask for commitment, because the Hierophant came out reverse on your side. So you got to value yourself and ask for that commitment and know what you want in love so it can happen. And then your person says to you, I need to tell you the truth. I can't go another day without you. All right, Pisces, thank you so much. If you would like a reading, check out my link in bio.